Well, hi, welcome back to the channel, Tony, and hopefully this is beneficial to you as you've been popping in, checking out my videos, just getting this YouTube journey started. And if you watched my first video, I kind of told you a little bit about what I'm doing with this adventure, this pre-retirement or this moving into the golden years thing that I've got going on, and I told you that I'm getting some good advice and some good counsel from Dave at Dave with Retired with Purpose, and I would strongly encourage you that if you're interested in side hustles and making money, doing something in your retirement years, to definitely go check out his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of really good advice, and he's the one that sort of motivated me to do this channel and some of the projects that I'm working on. And so he's quite informative. And what I said in my last video, I talked about how Dave had encouraged me to start an eBay business. And I had gone out and I had found a couple of really cool things in a thrift store. And one of them was some type of a sprocket for a bicycle that I didn't know anything about. And again, it's on the video previous to this one. And looking at it, thinking, okay, I paid $2 for it. And I thought I might be able to sell it for $80 or $90. But in actuality, I sold it. But I sold it for like $50. But that's still a really good profit, because what Dave says is what you want to do is try to get 10 times, or at least his rule of thumb, is to try to get 10 times what you paid for it. Well, obviously, 10 times of $2 is $20, and I ended up getting $53 plus, taking off a couple of expenses. So I probably netted somewhere around $40. And that's pretty good for just accidentally finding something. And I've got a couple of other things I've put on. So we're just kind of waiting and seeing what's happening. And I'm going to be going out doing some more thrifting starting next week. At the time of this recording, this is a Thursday. No, this is a Wednesday. No, this is a Thursday. I'm leaving tomorrow morning on a Friday, and I'm driving over to Dahlonega, Georgia, where my daughter is going to be married. I'm actually going to be conducting the wedding ceremony. Of course, I'm an ordained minister, and I just have the real joy of being able to perform her wedding for her, and it's just going to be an exciting time. So yay! She's so excited about getting married. But anyway, so when I come back from that next week, I'll be back on Sunday. When I come back next week, I'm going to get back out there into the thrift stores and start looking around, and start going to some yard sales and just wherever else I can go and try to pick up some things to do this eBay adventure that I'm doing. So that's kind of exciting. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm wearing a Superman shirt that I picked up at a thrift store, and it's so funny because when I wear it around, and I try not to wear it around too much, because when I wear this out in public, people will comment on it. And like, I was at the grocery store the other day, and as I was checking out, I had this on, and a lady, she probably was in her 40s, mid-40s, and she looked at me, and she had a big smile on her face, and she said, "Are you Superman?" and I got tickled, and I said, "Well, I was." So now my response to people if I wear this out in public, and I'm only going to wear it out in public if I want to get a response to it, because people do respond when every time I've worn this out, they say something. And so this morning I was at a dentist appointment. I've got this bad pain in one of my teeth. When I bite down, it's not hurting right now, but when I bite, it hurts. And as I was leaving the dentist appointment, there was an elderly man in there, probably in his 80s. I'm 64. And by the way, let me show you these guys. Come here. We have Yorkies. This is Dooley. Say hello to the people. Say hello. I'm Dooley. And this one is Dudley. Dudley. Say hello. Say hello to them. You're Dudley. Dooley and Dudley. They just are out in the yard running around, and when they hear me in the shop, they come in here. But anyway, I was walking out of the dentist appointment out of the office, and this elderly gentleman, he was, like I said, he was probably in his 80s, and he looked at my shirt, and he said, "Superman, huh? Are you Superman?" And I said, "Well, I was." And his response was, "I know the feeling." And I got the biggest kick out of that because, you know, I think those of us that are getting on up in our retirement years and these golden years, you know, we don't, we can look back at a time where we felt like we were a little more super than we are now. But it's one of the reasons that I do the things that I do to try to stay healthy. One of the things that Dave encourages us to do to stay healthy is to stay active. And I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. Staying active and finding something to do with your time instead of sitting down and scrolling your phone or watching television all the time or whatever. You know, getting up and doing something that you really enjoy. You know, one of the things that I've been doing out here in my shop is I made a placard. Well, I'll just show you. You step out of the screen for a second. You know, I think I showed you on the last video, the last video, I make these wood carving things. I'm learning how to do this. And, of course, I'm not an Alabama fan, but there are a lot of Alabama fans in this area. So I've been making these. It doesn't take very long at all, and it's actually carved into the wood. And I do this with routers, and it's kind of fun and gets a lot of feedback from people out there. And I made one for my daughter. I made one for her wedding. It just gives her and her husband's name and their last name, and it says, you know, established, you know, on 9/20/2025, or that's when they're getting married. And I took a picture of it and sent it to her, and she was just so excited. She's like, "Dad, my goodness, I'm going to have at least 50 of my friends there. They're going to want you to make some of those for them." And I said, "That's cool. I can do that." But the point being is that, you know, finding something to do with your time that you enjoy. And Dave tells us that pretty much anything that you can find to do with your time that you can enjoy, there's probably a way to monetize it. And, you know, if it, you know, takes me about an hour or so to make one of these, it looks like it would take a lot more, but 2 hours at the most. And it's something I enjoy doing, and I can sell those all the time for $20, $30 quite easily. So anyway, what I'm making this video about, just a follow-up to the first one, is just to say the channel is here. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas or hear anything that I say that you'd like to comment on, or give me some suggestions for, you know, marketing these wood placard things that I make, or anything else that I do, you know, that I'll talk about, I really would appreciate the comments. I'd like to interact with you. Helps the channel grow. And again, by the time you're watching this, I don't know how many subscribers I have, but probably not very many, because this is the beginning. So like and subscribe, give your comments, and by all means, you know, give me some suggestions. And who knows, maybe I can give you a suggestion or two as well for how to spend your time actively as you move into these golden years. And that's, again, that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to be active and stay healthy. And I will be posting some things, by the way, about health, some things that I do to stay healthy, some supplements that I take that I think that's a well-known, not a very known secret. It's kind of secret here in the country, but product that I've been taking for quite a long time. But you know, in the videos ahead, I'll talk a little bit more about those. But you know, just doing things that we can to stay healthy. You understand as well as I do. The older we get, the harder it is to stay on top of our health. So I'll have some thoughts on that, and give you some ideas related to that as well. But again, just the purpose of this channel, at least right now, is just to share my journey into the retirement, into the golden years, semi-retirement, whatever you want to call it, and just share with you and get to know you and get your thoughts, and let's see if we can't help one another out. All the best to you. Have the best of days, and again, like and subscribe if you can. All the best. See you soon.